going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. This team's a disaster. This team is an outright disaster. There's no even way to sugarcoat it. You go into Pittsburgh against one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, and you get swept, and your offense continues to fucking plummet. Just plummets. And that's not even without Bryce Harper in the lineup. It shouldn't matter if Bryce Harper's in the lineup or not for your offense to plummet. Granted, it wasn't really hitting on all cylinders when he was in the lineup, so just getting even worse. And his injury, that he was added to the 10-day IL for right wrist inflammation. Oh yeah, his injury might be worse than we thought. Might be way worse. And granted, this is not the elbow injury that he got when he got hit by Spencer Strider against the Braves. Nothing about that. It probably aggravated it, though. Probably aggravated it a lot more. So, it's probably way worse than we thought now. Maybe it's way worse than we initially expected. So, yeah, we have no idea how much longer Bryce Harper is going to be out for. So, that's fun. That is really fun. Really fun to witness. And, yeah, I thank God I barely paid attention to this series. That's kind of a lie. It's kind of a lie. I did pay attention to this series, but from a very long view, basically. It wasn't like getting my eyes directly on it. It probably should have been directly on it just because that's how dreadful the goddamn team was, and I could see how badly they were. Today was the game where my eyes were mainly glued because I had nothing else to do. So I was watching the game. And, I don't care that it was fucking Paul Skeens on the mound. I don't care that Paul Skeens is fucking nasty. You had 3 hits. 3 hits. You scored a run because of the Pirates being bad. And that's granted because the Pirates are bad. What does that say about you? What does that say about you? Ugh. Jesus. My God. You scored 1 run yesterday, had a bullpen game on Friday. God, Jesus, you had a chance to win that one if it wasn't for Jordan Romano blowing that game. You had a chance, at least. Ugh. This team sucks. This team sucks. They're bad. They're bad. They're bad. And I tried coming into this season with just an open mindset, even though I had the doubts in the back of my mind. Yeah, it's very easy to go down this path than try to remain hopeful. Like very few Phillies fans are. There are some people on the social media, Twitter sphere, Phillies Twitter sphere, that are trying to remain positive about this team. There is no reason to be. There is no reason to be. This team is not watchable. This team is unwatchable. They're unwatchable. It's not even funny. They can't hit. They can't field. Their starting pitching has to go out there and be perfect every single day. Honest to fucking God, I'm barely even blaming the bullpen for this series. It's your fucking offense. You allowed 2 runs yesterday. You allowed 2 runs today. And granted, you only allowed 4 runs in a bullpen game on Friday. You only scored 4. 5 runs, actually. You allowed 5 runs in a bullpen game. I'm barely blaming the bullpen. Even though the bullpen, that's not even trying to gloss over the dreadfulness that is the Phillies bullpen. I'm not trying to gloss over that fact. I am not. I am not whatsoever. You scored 6 runs this entire series? I believe so. And I think someone posted during this 5-game losing streak, they've only scored 8 runs. After scoring 8 runs in the first 2 innings on Monday's game against Toronto. Or was it Tuesday's game? I think it was Tuesday's game against Toronto. After scoring 8 runs in the first 2 innings, you've scored 8 runs since. They stink. They suck. My God. They stink. Their lineup is not even Major League caliber. Look at the bottom of their lineup. It is bad. It is bad. And I still have a question for the Phillies and what they are planning on doing here. Well, not what they're planning on doing. Why is Bryson Stott still leading off? Why is Bryson Stott still leading off? This dude, I think, since May 1st, has like a sub-200 average. His average continues to dip and dip and dip. His average is below 240. His on-base percentage is almost dropping below 300. It's at 303. And his slugging percentage is at 338. Why is he still batting leadoff? Yeah, he had a nice little stretch in April where he was hitting good. This is what Bryson Stott is. This is what Bryson Stott is. He's not a good hitter. He is a below-average hitter. He is a below-average hitter. That's why he doesn't have an OPS plus over 100. He has an OPS plus below 100, which is below league average, which is below the league average hitter. He is not a good hitter. He is not. He is a bench bat at best. And the only reason he is in the starting lineup every day is because he has an elite glove over at second. That is the only reason that saves him. That is the only reason Bryson Stott is in the lineup every day, is because of his glove at second base. And his glove at second base is very good. It doesn't save his bat, though. It doesn't save his bat, though. And people complain about Trey Turner's defense and how his bat doesn't save it. At least Trey Turner fucking hits. At least Trey Turner fucking hits. Trey Turner batting 300 with a 353. At least Trey Turner hits. Jesus. Only Kyle Schwarber's even in a funk. He had a home run in this series, but he's in a funk. He's been bad. He's been bad as the rest of the lineup is in June. So what is it? Kyle Schwarber had a hot first 2 months of the season, had a really good month of May, and now he sucks. Oh God, like what is going on here? It doesn't make sense at all. You had 3 hits today, and 2 of those hits came from Brandon Marsh and Rafael Marchand from today's game specifically. But if you just go to the rest of this series, it's just even more bad. And I do have the audio from Bryce Harper. I think this is from yesterday. This was posted on yesterday. So talking about Bryce Harper's wrist injury. So we will get to that eventually as well. I did see that Rob Thompson spoke on post game. So we'll see what happens there. You know what's very funny when watching this game? Yeah, they get 2 base runners on in the top of the 9th inning. Trey Turner hits a double. Kyle Schwarber gets intentionally walked. The first thing I fucking said was Alec Bohm was 100% grounding into a double play on the first pitch to end the game. And it was funny. It was like picturesque too, because it was starting to pour. The rain was starting to come down, basically just raining on everything. That is just the full emotion of what watching Phillies baseball is. And then what do you know? First pitch, Alec Bohm weak grounder up the middle for an easy double play to end the game. It was too predictable. It was too predictable. I laugh out loud. That's how funny it was. Come on, Nat. Come on. You couldn't have easily predicted that. Alec Bohm swinging at the first pitch, and then he grounds into a double play. Let's be realistic here. He does it all the time. I understand he's getting his average back out there. He's hitting a lot more. It's still Alec Bohm. It's still Alec Bohm. I mean, what else can we say about that? You have so many guys in this lineup that are probably not major league caliber hitters. They're just not. And I'm not going to put any stock to blame in Otto Kemp. The dude just got called up. In the second game, he had to face Paul Skeens. I'm not going to put any stock into blaming Otto Kemp. His first 2 major league games, we'll see what he has more in the tank as he continues to see major league pitching. So I'm just going to ignore that. I think he did get on base today. I'm not sure if it was by a walk or something like that, but he did get on base. But not going to put any stock to blaming Otto Kemp. He should still be giving as many chances as possible. You shouldn't really be giving up on this guy. Because at this point he's too good for AAA the way he was batting down there. Bryson Stott, not good. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, I mean, those guys are basically the only 2 that really do anything for you consistently offensively. Trey Turner has been getting on base. Kyle Schwarber has struggled this month, so that's realistic on that part. He really has not been majorly impactful. And granted, Kyle Schwarber cannot do everything on his shoulders. He's going to slump at some point, and sadly, it is the case right now. So Trey Turner's defense aside, the 2 bats that are really just doing anything for you are Schwarber and Turner, and still that's nowhere close enough to be good enough for your team. It's just not. It's just not. Bohm, not good enough. Castellanos, his average says 282. It doesn't feel like that. And granted, that's also the argument that Brodes uses for Trey Turner, but it feels like Trey Turner this year has been more impactful than Castellanos. Castellanos just over 3. Kepler, not good. Marsh, not good. Marchand, not good. I think JT played the first 2 games in this series. Obviously, not good. It's bad. bad. If you look at the bullpen game on Friday, Joe Ross pitched 2 innings, Banks pitched an inning. This Rangel guy came in immediately and allowed a 2-run shot, but then he finished pitching 3 innings. Kirkering pitched an inning, Strahm pitched an inning, then Romano just allowing all the base runners. That's fucking possible. It's insane. It is insane. Lineup-wise, Trey Turner had 3 of the 7 hits. He went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs on Friday. Against Bailey Falter, Schwarber went 0 for 4, Bohm 1 for 3, Castellanos 1 for 4, JT 1 for 4, Sosa 0 for 3, Stott 1 for 4, Wilson 0 for 2. Why is Weston Wilson still on this team? It doesn't make sense. Marsh 0 for 1, Johan Rojas 0 for 3, Max Kepler 0 for 1. You have 4 outfielders that you rotate in and out in left and center field combined, and they all suck. They all suck. They all suck. None of them can hit. None of them can hit. Weston Wilson, Kepler, they can't hit. Marsh, Rojas, they can't hit either. The only thing that saves Rojas barely is his defense, and that's still not even fully passable, but it's way better than Brandon Marsh's defense in center field because, my God, Brandon Marsh just cannot catch. He is a terrible center fielder defensively. My God, it just doesn't make sense. Nothing about this team makes sense on how bad they are. It really just is. Holy fuck. And just even going through the game, you go up 1-0 with Castellanos getting an RBI ground out. The Pirates immediately tie the game up. You make it 2-1, Bohm, then Reynolds hits a home run against Banks. Trey Turner gets an RBI single, 2 RBI single with the bases loaded, scores 2 runs. They immediately tie the game up, which is hilarious. Castellanos had a double in the 5th, nothing happened there. Nothing happened in the 6th. Nothing happened in the 7th. You go down 1-2-3, 1-2-3 in the 8th. You didn't 1-2-3 in the 9th. Just look at this 9th inning by Jordan Romano. A weak single by Fraser. A weak bloop single by Triolo. Kiner Falefa with a bunt single. My God, this was the luckiest bunt I've seen in the world, and it loads the bases up. Strikes out Cruz, but then a deep fly, sac fly won the game. So it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? For yesterday's game, your offense had 4 hits and 1 run, and then you scored 1 run in the 1st inning. That was Kyle Schwarber going the other way for a solo bomb. Ranger Suarez was good once again. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts on 97 pitches. Obviously, he is to blame, and Taijuan Walker came in for an inning. He walked 2 but got out of it. Your pitching's not to blame here. Your offense, Turner 0 for 4, Schwarber 1 for 4 with the solo shot, Bohm 1 for 4, Castellanos 1 for 4, and the rest of your lineup went 0 for. JT, Sosa, Stott came in eventually. Kemp in his major league debut went 0 for 3, Wilson 0 for 2, Marsh 0 for 1, Rojas 1 for 2, Kepler 0 for 1. Just not good. Not good. And just the play-by-play, Schwarber hits the home run. Pirates tied in the 1st, obviously. Then nothing. 1-2-3 in the top of the 2nd. Technically 1-2-3 in the top of the 3rd. 2-out single by Castellanos. Nothing happens there. 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. Alec Bohm had a leadoff double in the top of the 2nd inning. Nothing happened. Ranger Suarez sadly allowed the go-ahead solo shot in the bottom of the 7th inning. But I barely blame Ranger Suarez whatsoever. Top of the 8th, you go down 1-2-3. And top of the 9th, you went down 1-2-3. So yeah, that was fun. Then you go to today's game against Paul Skeens with most likely everybody expected to lose this game and get swept, and that's exactly the case that happened. Christopher Sanchez, he was fantastic in this game as well. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 100 pitches. He was brought out for the 8th inning to face O'Neal Cruz, and he walked him on 4 pitches, and that was eventually the go-ahead run. So that was a mistake right there. Kirkering came in. He allowed the inherited run to score, struck out 3, walked 1, but still, I barely blame the pitching in this entire series. It's all on the fucking offense. You had 3 hits. Turner had a hit in the 9th inning. Schwarber went 0 for 3 with a walk, which was an unintentional walk. Bryson Stott 0 for 4. Bohm 0 for 4. Castellanos 0 for 3. Kepler 0 for 3. Otto Kemp had a walk. He went 0 for 2. Marsh had a single or double, whatever it was. And then Marchand had a hit, which throwing error by Pittsburgh allowed him to score. But that was basically it. You were just lifeless the entire fucking game against Paul Skeens. 1 for 3 in the top of the 1st, 1 for 3 in the top of the 2nd inning. Bottom of the 2nd inning, the Pirates made it 1-0, and then eventually the Phillies did respond in the top of the 3rd with the Pirates playing bad defense. Top of the 4th, you go down 1-2-3. Top of the 5th, you go down 1-2-3 technically. Top of the 6th, 1-2-3. Top of the 7th, 1-2-3. Top of the 8th, after a 2-out walk by Marsh, nothing happens. And then this whole inning in the bottom of the 8th by Sanchez and Kerkering allowed the go-ahead run to score. And then top of the 9th, Turner with a double. Schwarber intentionally walked, and boom, first pitch ground out to a double play. That is just funny. That is just funny. It's so funny. It is so funny. Yes, it's funny. Yes, it's funny. I'm not denying it. It is funny. So yeah, you stink. You stink. That's basically the whole case. Yeah, Harper. I'm just looking through everything right here. Yeah, you come back to Citizens Bank Park. Whoop they fucking do. You play the Cubs and you play the Blue Jays. Nice, joy. And then your next day off is on Thursday. And I think what they're talking about with the pitching rotation, Wheeler pitches tomorrow, McAble pitches on Tuesday, and Luzardo pitches on Wednesday afternoon. So I think that's the way the rotation's going. On Monday, it's Matthew Boyd against Zach Wheeler, and then McAble against Colin Ray, and then Jesus Luzardo against Ben Brown. So we'll see where that goes. Then you got the Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Toronto. You're off on Thursday, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go through that usual stick with the schedule. What else? Do we get into the Bryce Harper stuff? We might as well get into the Bryce Harper stuff because it doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound good at all. I do have the audio for Bryce Harper here, so we will get to that. It just doesn't sound good. It just sounds like it's something that he's been dealing with since the beginning of the season, and maybe some point of last season. And getting hit in the elbow might have aggravated it a little bit more. So I might as well just throw it to Bryce and see and get you guys to listen to the entire thing because it just does not sound good.
Long enough to where it got to the point where I can't really function on a baseball field or hit a baseball or anything like that. So just a good time for me to take some time and get it right.
How similar is this to what you experienced last year?
Yeah.
Same thing?
Yeah.
And it's gotten progressively worse. You felt it earlier, but just seems to be getting worse.
Yeah, I felt it early in the season, and tried to play through it as long as I could. And I think getting hit in the elbow has helped it. Just from the drainage of all the fluid coming down. But I think just try to get through it the best I can, and it's going to take some time, obviously, but hopefully get it done.
Any type of outlook on how long that could take or what the plan is for right now?
No, not really. Obviously, you just try to, get through the treatment phase and see what I can do. But we got to get, to calm down and get out there when I can.
I know in spring you said last year it was playing for some pretty good pain in the wrist. Can you contrast to, last year, more intense, less intense?
It's similar. Yeah, it's definitely similar.
Are you feeling it on every swing, or is it only certain swings?
Yeah, every swing. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, I want to be out there. It's frustrating. I never want to not be playing, so it's definitely frustrating for me. But it just wasn't good for me to keep going out there. Didn't want to get 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road and sit there. It was definitely a hard decision for me. Obviously, I've played through pain in my career. I did it last year. I did it for most of this year, but just don't want to do it anymore.
It doesn't sound good. It does not sound good whatsoever. And if this is the same shit that he's dealing with like he was last year with the wrist issues, they're not just going to go away. Is this something that's going to lead to a surgery? I'm just putting that out there. Say if it just continues to get worse for this team. Say if they just keep losing, they don't win games, they lose a lot of series, they go on this insanely long losing streak, and basically puts them back around 500. Does the Phillies organization just say, fucking chalk it, Bryce, you're getting surgery, and basically hang the rest of the season? They're probably not going to do that. That's just something that I think in the back of my mind. It's the same thing that he was dealing with last year, and now he's dealing with it again. And getting hit in the elbow Didn't help it whatsoever. I don't know. Don't know. And what is this treatment that they're going to give him with this wrist? What is this treatment? Is this like a Joel Embiid thing? Treatment on the wrist? Treatment at one of fucking Joel Embiid's knees? Shouldn't this just something that just should be solved by surgery? Shouldn't that just be the case? Maybe. I don't know. Would a wrist surgery keep you out the rest of the season? Granted, you're not doing anything this year, and even though that's just like, but I think it was Bob Nightingale that brought it up or something like that. That like, oh, the Phillies are going to be one of the teams that are going to be very aggressive at the trade deadline this year for bullpen help and center field help. I have no idea how you're going to address all that shit at the trade deadline without giving up your entire prospect system. I don't know how you address that. I just don't know how you do that. Because you can't. It's physically impossible to do that. You're going to find a center fielder and reshape your bullpen. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Yeah, this injury for Bryce is way worse than anyone could have ever imagined. It really is that case. What else is there? We are getting a couple of voicemails here. We do have a voicemail from Friday. We have 3 of them so far. One from Sean, one from Steven and all that stuff, and another one from an unknown voice. So I don't know if, did Steven just leave another call? Yeah, it looks like it. Did Steven leave another voicemail? And we also have a text right here from this 856 number. I'm not sure if you left your name. It might probably, no, actually, this is a different, okay, this is a new number, so there's 2 different new numbers here, so, sorry, I'm just, like, going through all the crap right here, and I'm just trying to, like, oof, because this is just, I'm trying to see if Rob said anything post-game either. Yeah, it's just, this team just sucks. They just suck. That's basically it. They just stink. They just stink. You're realistically thinking this team's going to address their issues at the trade deadline this year? Yeah, my ass. My fucking ass. Reset. Trade what you can away at the trade deadline to get some assets in return. So that means trading Ranger Suarez, trading Kyle Schwarber at this rate. You probably get a lot for Kyle Schwarber and Ranger Suarez. Because let's be realistic, if Bryce Harper is gone for a majority of the season, and if he's gone for the majority of the season and he somehow ends up getting surgery, can the entire year. Can the entire year. You shut down Nola for the rest of the season. You shut down Harper for the rest of the season. You trade away your expiring contracts that you can get a lot for because people will cough up stuff for Ranger Suarez. People will cough up stuff for Kyle Schwarber. You trade away those guys. And that's what I think. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. So, I'm just being realistic at that point. I really am. Because I don't see a way for this team to get out of this problem. This issue that they're in. It's just so stupid. This is from John Clark. Phillies manager Rob Thompson says he is looking at the possibility of changing some things up in the lineup. Bryson Stott, who has been leading off a lot, is down to 239. Max Kepler is batting 208, and Brandon Marsh is batting just 216. Rafael Marchand is batting under 200. Oh yeah, Rob, I can't wait to see what friggin' lineup changes you're going to make that's gonna magically fix this team, because they're not going to. They're not going to. They're just not. They're just not. They're just not going to be magically fixed. They're not going to be magically fixed. They are not. So, get to you guys in the chat. We got these voicemails here. So, I want to get to the call from Friday because it's still relevant, because they got swept, and it's probably still frustration overall. We just don't know. We're basically just getting this guy's opinion from Friday. So, we'll see what the case is here. So let's get to this call. I'm not sure what his name is, but we'll see.
Hey, man. First time caller. Been watching you for over a year. Appreciate your content, but I just generally feel bad that you have to cover this God's first in, this organization. I mean, our team is built so incorrectly, and we put up too many huge contracts. So when you talk about, getting elite players like Kyle Tucker, et cetera, right? Like, our luxury tax is so high. I think it's on the top 3, right? So
Top 5 payroll, I think.
every contract is going to cost double, right? So we're losing Kyle, okay? We're losing Ranger, and we have a manager that has no heart, right? Like, he literally he ejected a game where it wasn't warranted, right? 3 days previously, he should have got ejected immediately. So, I mean, attacking our best player, so, like, I mean, I'm done, right? I'll,
Get the frustration out.
try to watch the playoffs, but, like, that's when we choke the most. So it's like, this team is a joke, and the Eagles are the only organization that's actually ran correctly, and it's unfortunate, But
Don't have the
anyway,
Flyers.
dude, I'm gonna be sorry it was too long, but I will be calling more often, man.
Appreciate it.
Because you are my favorite sports, person on YouTube. So, but anyway, dude, sorry that the Phillies suck, but let's just hope for the best, but it's just not going to be this year, man. So, have a good one, bro. Take care, man.
Take care. I appreciate it. This was from Friday. I'll just push back on the little thing that the Eagles are the only good ran team in this city. Don't knock the Flyers. Don't knock the Flyers. We'll see. Let's see what they got brewing this offseason. You could change that narrative a little bit here, but it's the fact. I don't think the Phillies. I don't think they're a poor ran team. They're just too fucking complacent. That's what I think. They're too fucking complacent. That's their issue. They don't want to go for the whole thing. They don't want to freaking put the hammer down or anything. They're too fucking complacent. That's what they've been for the past so many years. That's why they don't make big trade at the trade deadline. That's why they haven't made any other big acquisitions. They're just going bargain shopping. And like I said, it always comes back down to John Middleton. It comes back to John Middleton. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to keep saying every time. It comes back to John Middleton cheaping out. Because if John Middleton was, so passionate about winning a trophy, he would tell his team, go trade for Kyle Tucker. Go make this signing. Go make that signing. I have X amount of money for you to spend, or an unlimited X amount of money. I don't care how much money you spend, basically. I don't care about the luxury tax. I don't care about the penalties. We'll deal with that stuff later. Go get me the best possible players. Go put the best possible team on the baseball field that is going to put this city, this fan base, the best possible position to win a championship. And if we don't win a championship doing that, so what? We put the best possible situation. We didn't cheap out. We didn't, try to go bargain bin shopping. We went out and tried to get the best talent possible. And that's not what they did. That's not what they did. They signed Max Kepler to a 1-year deal. They signed Jordan Romano. They got Carlos Hernandez off waivers. They continued to roll out and trot out, Johan Rojas and Brandon Marsh in center field and trying to say that's viable in Major League Baseball. Bryson Stott hasn't improved a lick at the plate. Alec Boehm is what he is. He's a slap hitter that somehow lost his extra base hit ability. He was never a power hitter, even though with that fucking 6'5" body frame, he should be a fucking power hitter. But now all of a sudden, he's just singles. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, they're the best hitters in your lineup, but now you can't do anything with Bryce Harper being hurt, and now Schwarber's in a slump, and Schwarber's in a free agent contract year, and you're not doing anything this year. I'm more viable to trade fucking Kyle Schwarber at this point. That's what I'm doing. This team is not going anywhere. They're probably going to continue losing. It's not going to be fun. This is going to be a very long last few months of the season. I don't expect any shock. I don't expect any surprises. They're not going to do this, by the way. They're not going to sell off. They're gonna keep it the narrative that they're gonna keep fighting until the end and blah 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 blah. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to trade off anything. They're not going to sell off anything. Realistically, maybe the only case they do that is Bryce does get shut down for the entire season, which I don't expect to happen, even though it probably should if the wrist is that bad. What do I know? What do I know? Let's get to the other callers. We got Sean, we got Steven, and we also got a new one here. So if this guy does call back that did call on Friday, if you do call again, leave your name so I can save you for future use. I'll definitely, but I do appreciate the call. I do appreciate it and all the kind words. Actually, let's get to the new guy here. It's a shorter call, 1 minute and 12 seconds. So let's see what he has to say, or she. We'll never know.
Oh, man.
It's a he.
Oh, man. Oh, man. We thought 9 out of 10, 11 out of 12 wins was good. Okay, things were moving in the right direction. Bam! 1-9. How about that? I think if you gave this team 23 wins at the top of the season, they'd still find a way to be at 500 by the All-Star break. They just can't keep momentum going. Now I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking down the road here. You got the Cubs tomorrow. That's terrifying. You've got Toronto again. Didn't do well against them. You've got 4 games against the Fish. Good luck getting 3 out of 4 even from there. I think a split at best is what I would hope for coming from this team. And then the Mets come into town for 3 games. So who only knows what's going to happen there? Astros, Braves again. I don't know, Amadeo. It's not looking good. I'm looking for some optimism here, but I don't know where I'm going to get it. And I know it's not going to come from Brodes either, so we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, you're not getting any optimism. A couple of years ago, I probably would have been more optimistic and try to remain on the optimistic side. Not after the past few years. I'm sorry. I try to keep a straight face. I try to keep even keel. I cannot. I can't. I saw the picture drawn on the wall after they came back from fucking London last year. It was just a completely different team after all that entire nonsense. It just looked off. It didn't look right and everything right there. And then once again, it's doing the same exact thing. They go on a good stretch. They have a good record at the start. It's basically the same exact point of the season as it was last year, where they have a good record. They're the top record in baseball and blah, 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 blah. And then something just fucking snaps to where it just goes in the wrong direction. It's what it is. It's what they are. It's what they are. It's what they are. All that high mighty crap that they, or that high and good shit that they play with. It's not who they are. This is probably more who they are. Now, is this bad as what they are? Probably not. They're probably somewhere in between. But I wouldn't be shocked if this is who they are now. I wouldn't be shocked. Because the team is not that good. Because they continue to run it back multiple times in a row. Because your owner cheaped out. That's all I got. I think that guy also left a text message. This is Austin. I never changed the contact. This is Austin. I never changed his contact. Okay, so I gotta change that. It's Austin. There you go. Now it'll be Austin. There we go. Now when you call back, it should be Austin. But he did leave a text message too. And Steven said the same thing. Well, Austin says, I see what you mean by when the Phillies suck, my engagement goes up. LMAO, I'm sorry it has to be like this. Oh, man, yep. It's painful. And Steven also texted, I hate this team. So do I, Steven. So do I. And speaking of Steven, we might as well get to his voicemail, then get to Sean's. Oh, man.
Hey, Amadeo. So they got swept, man, and that, I just can't believe they got swept by the Pirates, man. I mean, I know this team has been bad, but they get swept by the fucking Pirates? Are you kidding me? I mean, this team is absolutely just abysmal right now. There has to be changes made. I know there probably won't be. I mean, there was a report out there recently saying that Dombrowski's going to be aggressive at the trade line. I'm not buying it. I just don't. the past 3 years he's done nothing impactful to help this team. And I don't think he's going to do it now. I mean, this team is they're good. They're not great. They're not contending for a title this year with what they've got right now. I mean, you got Weston Wilson starting multiple times a week. Johan Rojas made a great catch, but the guy can't hit for shin. You got him playing almost every day. You got Marsh playing almost every day. I mean, Kepler he's been mid. I mean, the outfield is terrible. Alec Boehm is not that good. I think he's overrated. I mean, just the bullpen sucks. Rob puts Kirkering in there with runners in scoring position almost every time, and it doesn't work like 70-80% of the time. When is he going to stop doing that? I mean, Sanchez was just excellent today, but these losers once again lose, and it's just sad. I mean, hopefully tomorrow I'm not even looking forward to tomorrow, man. I mean, you got Zach Wheeler on the mound, but with the way this team has been playing, I'm not looking forward to them at all right now, and I'm not going to until changes are made. This is just laughably bad.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, I don't buy that they're going to be major buyers at the deadline either. I don't buy that shit whatsoever. If you haven't done it in the past 2 years, why would you do it now? It's desperation. It's desperation. Thank God I had wrestling yesterday to really distract a lot from everything. Sean, did anybody here watch Money in the Bank last night or Worlds Collide? Because it was a good day of wrestling. It was a good day of wrestling. Definitely, it was cool seeing R-Truth come back. That was very fun. Majority of the matches were, well, except for the freaking Dom match, that was just filler. But all the matches were pretty good. All the matches were pretty good. Women's Money in the Bank was really good. The Lyra and Becky Lynch fight was good. The men's Money in the Bank was cool. Even though I didn't want Seth Rollins to win, it does make sense. I kind of wanted LA Knight to win just to see him get pushed, and thought he just deserved it, but it does make sense that Seth won it. And the tag team would, the tag team main event, it was going on too long, and it was like a little bit lackluster, but then Truth coming in really saved it and made it really fun. So, we'll see where that goes. Steven says Money in the Bank was nice. Frank also says R-Truth was crazy. Oh yeah, Mariah May is also in NXT. Come on, Sean, you got to watch all the girls that just got caught up from NXT onto the freaking Raw and SmackDown. Fucking Stephanie Vaquer is fantastic. Stephanie Vaquer is amazing. She's great. She is great. Roxanne Perez is great. Julia is really fun to watch. All the girls that they called up were good. The women's division in WWE is getting a lot better and better and better, especially on the Raw side. It's fun to watch. And those girls that they just called up, they're really good. Really fun to watch. So I can't, it's all great. Back hair screwed AEW. Whatever. Whatever. She's still very good. She's still very good. Oh, man. What else is there? Oh, yeah, we do. I got Sean's call. Might as well get the Sean's call. I know I went off a freaking, rail here. Yeah, Steven says Money in the Bank was nice. But, I guess you're more of an AEW man than, than a WWE's man. Sean, I guess that's where you're at now.
I'm not going to waste time going over this series. What happened speaks for itself. I'm just going to use this time slot to briefly tell you where I'm at as a fan. Look, number one, we know the personnel isn't good enough. And unless they make changes, other than cosmetic changes, I'm totally checked out. I refuse to invest my time in an organization that doesn't seem to want to win. And I'll take it a step further. I not only want wholesale sweeping changes of personnel, I want a philosophical change. I don't understand how this team is constructed offensively. I don't understand how changes weren't made 2 years ago after the collapse against Arizona. I don't understand how your minor league system as a whole can be so bereft of talent that you have not one legitimate major league ready reliever that you can bring up to help this team. If it wasn't for their starting pitching, we would be the Eastern version of the Colorado Rockies. That's how bad this team is.
Okay, I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that bad. We're talking about two drastically different types of bad. We're talking about like historically bad. The Phillies aren't historically bad. And it is as down as I am as you are, Sean. They're not historically bad. They're not that bad. They're bad. They're not that bad. They're not White Sox bad. They're not Rockies bad. They're not that bad. They aren't that bad.
They're boring. They're getting old, and they're just not that talented. And heads need to roll. I want the manager fired. I want the general manager fired. And I want players gotten the hell out of here. Do a Howie Roseman. Get rid of what you can for whatever you can get and start over. They are absolutely boring. Thank God the NHL and NBA drafts are coming because the Phillies are a non-issue with me.
Do they need to be that bad, though? They're not that bad. They're not that bad. And they're not that bad. As down as they're, as much as I'm also, they're not gonna fire. They might. Do they fire Dave Dombrowski? Maybe. Or does Dave Dombrowski? They don't fire. He steps down. It's probably the case. Do they fire Preston Mattingly? He was literally just. This is probably what they do. Topper gets fired. Kevin Long gets fired. Majority of the coaching staff gets fired. I guess you can also say Caleb Cotham, even though I think Caleb Cotham is probably the least, probably one to blame of the coaching staff. He actually does his job with the pitching. Preston Mattingly, he was more in charge of the. Wasn't Preston Mattingly just anointed general manager this season? Well, it's realistically Dave Dombrowski does all the moves, and Preston Mattingly is just there as he just has the title GM. Dombrowski does all the other work. And Preston Mattingly was originally the farm scout director. Like, he was brought in, 1 or 2 years ago? So, I guess you could say Preston Mattingly can keep his job. Let Preston Mattingly run the thing. He was with the Yankees organization, so there's definitely some credibility there. You get rid of Dave, you get rid of some of the, I don't know what else you do with the front office, but maybe you keep Preston Mattingly. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. But I mean, you're comparing them to Colorado Rockies bad, and the Rockies are never going to improve. You're talking about, an organization that's so inept and poorly run, that's why the Rockies are as bad as they are. The Phillies are never going to be that bad. They're never going to be that bad. They're not going to be a 100-loss type of team. They're not going to do that. And I keep saying with John Middleton, that's why he doesn't want to trade any of the Andrew Painters. He doesn't want to trade the Justin Crawfords. He doesn't want to trade the Aiden Millers because he wants a new, when obviously this window is closed right now, but when the window is and when you get rid of some of these players, that you have those three to call up, and that's your new wave, your next wave of Phillies players. You bring up the top prospects whenever that Starling Kappa kid is ready to be the next catcher. You bring up this, youth, this influx of youth and all that. And John Middleton doesn't want a situation where it's from 2012 to 2017 where it was just not watchable and you had no fans in the stands. I think that's what he wants at the end. That's what I think. That's what I think. No, it's yes and no, Sean. The Rockies are just poorly ran in general. I watch a lot of videos just on baseball in general, and the Rockies owner is so clueless. He has no idea how to run a major league team. All you need to know is the whole the Nolan Arenado consequences and all that crap. Seriously, they give the Cardinals, they don't even give, equitable prospects back for Nolan Arenado. And then they turn around and they sign Chris Bryant the very next offseason. That doesn't make sense. Then they let Trevor Story walk for nothing. They're just a poorly ran organization, and that's why they're that bad. On top of the, all the other stuff. Do they have good players though? That's really, do the Rockies have good players? Do the Rockies have good players? Then they wouldn't be as bad as they are. Do they have good players? Realistically, is it just they just had pitching and that would solve everything? No, I think the Rockies are just poorly ran. That's what they are. That's where they're at. And yeah, cores 100% affects all that stuff, but I think realistically, you could find they couldn't develop a pitcher this entire millennia. They couldn't develop a pitcher this entire decade, centuries, and all that stuff. They can't develop pitching. It's not like if you can't find a way to bring in pitching talent, you got to develop your pitching talent. So there's multiple sides to that. The Phillies are never going to be Rockies bad. They're never going to be Pittsburgh Pirates bad. They're never going to be Oakland Athletics bad and all that. They're never going to be Miami Marlins bad. What other very bad teams are there in Major League Baseball? They're never going to be those type of teams that are always fighting for top in the draft. They're never, even granted there's a draft lottery now, so it's not guaranteed bottoming out that you win a draft lottery. Is Brenton Doyle that good? I know he has a good glove in center field, but is Brenton Doyle that good? Doyle, his numbers are very bad this year. I know he had a good season last year, but his numbers are very bad. Very bad. 196 average. Is it just as simple as that? He needs to change the scenery. He's very bad. Hitting wise this year, he's very bad. And especially that you're hitting in Coors Field, which should escalate your offensive numbers, that be that bad hitting wise. It's not good. It's not good. Well, granted, yeah. But it's also to say something. Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas have better averages than Brenton Doyle. That's the sad thing. Marsh, Kepler, all those, besides Wilson, all those guys have been batting better than fucking Doyle. And that's how bad Doyle has been this year. So bringing in Doyle, that wouldn't solve anything. That would not solve anything whatsoever. It would just be more of the same. Tovar's been solid for them, but realistically, their team just stinks. Way worse. I mean, they're historically bad. Historically bad. Will they be worse than what the White Sox were last year? They're on pace for that, maybe. They're on pace for that. The Phillies are never going to be that bad. They just won't be. Losing every night. But at some point, don't you want to be the difference in what makes your team good? Don't you want to be the difference? And I don't know. I just don't see it. And it's the same thing when you look at some players, offensive players that play in Colorado. Their numbers are drastically different in Coors Field than they are on the road. So if I look at his splits this year, just to see where he's at home and on the road, he's a 238 hitter in Coors. He's a 152 hitter on the road. It's the same song and dance routine. You're better at Coors Field than you're not. And his numbers at home still are not good. 238 average, 283 on base, 429 slugging, 712 OPS. His numbers on the road are drastically worse. 152 average, 220 on base, 192 slug, 412 OPS. It's not good. It's not good. But it's just is Brenton Doyle getting a free pass just because he's on the Rockies? Or is he's just a guy? He's just a guy. Realistic, you bring Brenton Doyle to the Phillies, he doesn't solve anything. He'd be the same offensive problems that Marsh is, that Rojas is, that Kepler is. He just has a good glove. You're basically just putting another Johan Rojas in center field. That's basically what Brenton Doyle is right now. He is another Johan Rojas in center field that has an elite glove but doesn't have a good bat. That's what he is. And Grant, could you say a change of scenery is all he needs to do it? Maybe. But it's just not the case. And what were his splits last year? What were his splits? Very good at cores, very bad on the road. He batted .313 at cores, .365 on base, .534 slug, 900 OPS, .211 batting average on the road, .271 on base, .364 slug, .636 OPS, 12 home runs at home, 11 home runs on the road. Granted, it was drastically better than it is this year, but what was he in his first year? What was he in his first year? Home and the road. He's just not a good. Last year could be the anomaly. His first year, he batted .168 in cores, .225. He's not a good hitter. He'd be the same issue. He really would be the same issue. So, at this point, it's what you said earlier, Sean. Just let Justin Crawford be the guy. Let Otto Kemp play out. Let Crawford play out. See what you do. Because Brenton Doyle obviously would not be an answer. Just in my personal opinion. I know we talked about him early in the year as maybe a solution. His bat's not a solution. It would just be the same situation that you're in. His bat would just be the same problems. The bat would be the same exact problems. Yeah, I don't see anything else much. No, I don't see much. Do not see much. So, gotta move on, I guess. The worst 9-game above 500 team I've ever seen in my life from Dylan Hall. What else is there? Yeah, what has Tovar been for them? Rockies, Ezekiel Tovar. Batting .258, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's more of a probably on base guy, isn't he? No, not really. .258 average, 301 on base. It's just I'm tired of not looking at Rockies players anymore. That team stinks. Even though I can't really argue with the Phillies right now, but what is Dave Dombrowski's philosophy, or what was his philosophy on building winning teams? Why is there no leadoff hitter? Why poor outfielders? A shallow bullpen? It's weird because Dave was really good at building teams in Florida, Detroit. He really didn't build the team in Boston. He just added to it. Like I said, I really just have a feeling it's John Middleton. I really have a feeling it's John Middleton. And a lot of people think like, oh, John Middleton, he's more of the guy that lets the baseball guys does his job. Well, John Middleton writes the paychecks. And I really just think he cheaped out. I really do. I really think he cheaped out. Because maybe you could have traded for Kyle Tucker and maybe extended him. I don't know. I don't know. This team's just not good. It's what they are. And there's no clear path to getting better. Aiden Miller had another home run yet. What's Aiden Miller been doing since for the past little while in AA? So far, he's batting .234 with a .336 on base and a .698 OPS. He's got 6 home runs, 16 RBI. This year, yeah, it's this year. It looks like he's getting better. Didn't he start off like very bad this year? I feel like he did. He started off like very bad, and then I guess he's like increasingly getting better. MLB's number 22 prospect is one of 3 AA players with 6+ home runs and 20+ stolen bases. We'll see. The power is definitely legit with Miller, so we'll see where it goes. How many home runs did he have? He had 11 home runs last year, mixed with 3 teams. 261 average, 366 on base, 446 slug, 812 OPS. He's definitely an on-baseman. That's definitely a good thing there. He's definitely an on-baseman. Phillies, let me just look at the Phillies. I know I'm like going off rails here with like everything. Let's just look at their top prospects. Obviously, Painter, your number 1 prospect. Aiden Miller, your number 2 prospect. Crawford, your number 3 prospect. What are his stats right now? He's batting .349, 416 on base, 448 slug, 864. A lot of people with the complaints with Crawford that I always see is that people complain about him being a ground ball hitter. The dude gets on base, he gets on base. If he hits, he hits. I don't care if it's fucking ground balls. The dude does not have to hit for power. If he gets singles, if he gets on base, he gets doubles, he uses his speed on the base paths, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. The Eduardo Tate kid, 4th ranked prospect. He's been very good down in Clearwater. And he's only what? He's only 18 years. I think he just turned 18, or he's turning 19 later on this year. His 286 average, 345 on base, 510 slug. He's got 9 home runs. Definitely an intriguing thing right there. Anything else? We'll see how everything goes on here. Rincones. McAble's still technically a prospect. Who the hell is Dante Nori? No idea who that guy is. He's a 6th ranked prospect. Griffin Burkholder. These are guys that are just very young, 21 or 20, 19 years old, 20 years old, blah, 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 blah. They still, I think they're like in verbal agreement with like one of the Acuna brothers or cousin or something like that. One of the Acuna family members. So hopefully that turns into something in the future. Hopefully it doesn't get screwed over with a possible international draft. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, guys. I kept you long enough, so we'll see where we go on from here. But we'll probably have a recap tomorrow, obviously, depending on any of the breaking news. But appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Don't forget to drop a like and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. You can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. So, they suck. They just stink. They do. They do. They do. Probably more losing upcoming against the Chicago Cubs team. So, and the Cubs score a lot of runs. The Phillies don't. It definitely should be interesting. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in.